So today I'm going to be doing something a little different, and I'm going to be installing a audio system from Boss for my 2008 Ford Explorer. So anybody that has a 06 to 2010 Ford Explorer 4.0, I'm going to show you guys how to install a double DIN system. It has a backup camera, and these are the items that were recommended. Okay, so to install this, you're going to need a dash kit to mount your double DIN radio. This is for Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury. Fits 2004 to 2010. Here is the part number 99-5807. And for anybody that has the steering wheel controls, you're definitely going to need this. It's from PAC, which is RP4-FD11. You're going to need for your antenna. It's just an extension. This was recommended. I'm not too sure how long the RCA cable is. I might need to get an extension depending on how long this is. I did end up getting this from Amazon for $10, and I'll show you what I'm gonna be doing with this. It's about 3 foot for USB, because this kit on here has 2 USB cords in the back for charging, and I think for your Apple CarPlay. So that's what I'm gonna be using this for. I'm gonna show you where this is gonna mount at on the Explorers. So you had $10 on Amazon, and I end up ordering all this, the rest of this stuff here on Crutchfield. When you put in your year, make, and model, they're going to ask you questions. You know, if you have the steering wheel control factory subwoofer. Mine doesn't have a factory sub, so you just want to make sure everything that you're ordering is compatible with, you know, what you have. So, you know, it's always good to double check that. Here is the part number for the Boss Elite. It's BV850 ACP. It's got Bluetooth, and this does not play CDs or anything. So yep, so we're gonna get this unboxed and see what we got. Alright, so I got everything unboxed here. So here's the unit here. Comes with some instructions. We got the main power harness, microphone, bracket and screws. There's our camera. In the back here we have for the front camera, got the rear, and then this is for your microphone hookups here. And these are the 2 USB connections that I was telling you about. So that's what I'm going to be using this here for. So here's the wiring harness from PAC. This is only needed if you have you know, the premium sound system, volume controls on your steering wheel. You know, you're definitely going to need this. So it has a little box here, and honestly guys, most of this is going to be plug and play. So this box here, you got the connection here, so this is going to connect there, and we got another one here. You can see there's spot right here, so this is where this is going to connect. The rest of these loose wires here are going to connect to your main harness that goes to your radio. And honestly guys, this is just basic setup here, man. You got your white, gray, purple, black, and green. Obviously this is going to be for your speaker. These are your speaker wires. The rest is I think the red's going to be your accessory power, orange is illumination, yellow is constant power, and of course black is ground, and so forth. And the rest of these are labeled. If you have front or rear cameras, you know, these are optional, but these are the main wires that we're going to be splicing to this harness. And this is going to plug into the back of the radio. You could either solder your connections or use wire crimp You know, whatever's easiest for you. I think I'm just gonna use wire crimps, butt connectors, and just crimp them, and just use some shrink wrap. I didn't realize, but this dash kit has the brackets and everything that you need for either a single or a double din, so I guess I'll be using these for the double din. I'd use this for something else or just end up selling that. So I won't be needing that. And it looks like this little plastic piece going across. I'm gonna have to cut that, get a pair of snips and just cut it close as I can, and just follow it down, make sure it's nice and smooth. Alright guys, real quick, so in order for this dash kit to fit on the head unit here, if you noticed the trim that goes all the way around it, that came with it, so there's little tabs up here. We're going to take this off, so just pop the tabs, and there's some on the bottom, and then that comes off. And then, like I said, once you cut that little bar, a little plastic bar, if you notice these mounting tabs here, it says left or right, and these little side mounts just slide right on through. So let me show you here. So this is going to be the left side. Basically it's just going to go like so. It's just going to slide where these little openings are. That's just going to slide right on through. So let me show you real quick. Alright, so once you get that already slide through there, this just goes over your head unit, so it's a nice flush fit. And then of course we're going to get the screws that came with the kit. We're not going to be using these metal brackets, so we're just going to be using the screws. And let me put that on real quick and show you what we got. Alright guys, so I'm going to stop what I'm doing and go over a few things as far as what I've done with the harness. So I got my speaker wire hooked up here, and again that's going to be your purple, gray, white, and green. That's your speaker wire. I highly recommend getting these little heat shrink tubing from Harbor Freight for about like $5 or $6, and they got different sizes. Make sure you slide your heat shrink on first and then make your connections. And as you can see, I already made a little mistake, so I just end up using electrical tape. I forgot to slide one more piece here. I just kept the speaker wire separate here, and then this is going to be for from the main harness. Got everything hooked up here. Refer to your manual because the colors might change, but luckily here everything's color for color. The only thing that was not included with the main harness was the vehicle speed sensor, and I was looking in the instructions and it didn't have a place for this to hook up, so I'm just gonna put shrink wrap over it, and I'm assuming that we don't need this. Then I also kept the camera wires separate, so you know, if you guys have a front or rear camera, you would hook up here, and then with the pack, this little box here, you got this 4-pin connector that's going to connect to the box. If you notice, there's a wire, a blue wire here. Depending on what kind of head unit you have, I believe this hooks up to like a JVC and Kenwood, and other head units, well, such as mine, is going to hook up right to here where it says SWC input. So that's going to hook up there, and then to the box we have this connector here, which is also going to hook up to the box here. Now guys, this is very important. Before you put power to this, you see this little arrow here, and it says, it's got the numbers on 0 through 9, and you want to point that arrow to whatever the instructions say. Right here, if you got In Alpine, you're going to go to select 1, make sure the arrow is pointing on 1, and so on. JVC is 2. If you notice, the boss is not in here, so where it says Pioneer/Other, we're going to put ours to number 7. So before you put power to this, guys, please make sure you do this first. So like I said, depending on your head unit, you're going to want to refer to this. Don't go crazy with this, so you want to make sure it clicks. Do it slowly when you're turning this, so you don't want to turn too fast, and you want to go clockwise with it. I'm going to finish up here and get all the shrink wrap on, get everything all tidied up here, and I gotta get the box set myself, so I need to set this little switch here to number 7, and I'll start hooking everything up. Got everything all set up here so the radio is ready to be mounted. So yep, everything's already wired up, ready to go, and then everything else is just going to be plug and play. The only thing I got to do now is run the wire from the rear all the way to the front, and then we can start making our connections here. Alright guys, so I got the harness all ready to go, and we got this pointed at number 7 like it's supposed to. Got all the shrink wrap on, ready to go. So now we could start taking the this dash apart, so we could take out the factory radio. And in order to do that, we got 2 7mm bolts, and then once we're done getting this off, we're going to pop this little trim bezel off, which I got my fingers under. You could use a trim tool or a small flathead screwdriver. We're going to unplug the cigarette lighter, and then I believe the rest are all just clips. We can just pop all this off here. Alright guys, so I pretty much got everything apart. Now if you notice, the shifter might be in the way here, so I'm going to put this in the first gear. And then we're just going to slide this aside before we start disconnecting anything in the back here because of the airbag sensor. So I'm going to turn the key on real quick. Put this in first. And then we can put this aside. Alright guys, like I said, make sure you slide this aside before disconnecting all this, because like I said, you got the airbag sensor. So slide that aside and throw this back in the park, and then start disconnecting everything. Now we can start taking the factory radio. I believe these are 4 7mm bolts. Don't lose your bolts here. Alright, so it's just 2 connections on the back of the factory head unit, and then you have the antenna, which this little sucker put up a little fight, so it is tight on there. You just gotta really pull this pretty hard to get that off. So alright, got everything apart, ready to go. So under further inspection here, I had these little blank little square tabs here that I was going to use USB cables here. I might have to just cut one of these and somehow get this in there. I would like to not cut any holes on the bottom or anything like that, so I would like to, reuse an existing hole here and somehow get this in there. Alright, so I took these blank squares off. As you could see, I cut one of them, so I got this snapped in there, and then these got clips as well. So all I did was just took this whole piece out and then just cut, just to make sure all this fits in there. A little rigged up, but I I gotta find something. I might have to glue this little end piece on, but it seems like it's clipped in there pretty good. Other than that though, it should work for the USB. It's not the best looking thing, but seems like it works for me. So like I said, I didn't feel like cutting any more holes out, so I'm just using the existing blanks here that we got. So that's gonna be the USB cables. Alright guys, so I got everything all installed, ready to go. As far as the camera situation, you got that long RCA cable that goes from the front to the back, and what I did was ran the cable from back here down under the steering column. You're gonna pull this panel off right here. I just ran it through here, down through the kick plate or the kick panel, and then all through here. These scuff plates are just have clips, so you get your pry tool or a flathead screwdriver, or if you could get your fingers under there and just rip them, pull this right out. So you're gonna run it all the way back through here. I just got a screwdriver and just tucked it under here. You gotta tuck your wire all through here. You got another scuff plate you're gonna have to take out. You're gonna run it all the way to the back. Got my panel off here. Yep, so you're gonna run it all through here. You're gonna need to take this plate off. Guys, everything's just basically clips here. You don't need anything special. So you're gonna take this off. You're gonna pull this panel aside, and then you're gonna pop this off. You know, just let it hang. You're gonna take this top piece off, and everything's all clips. And then so I ran my wire up through this grommet here. You're gonna have to pull this off, top and bottom. I ran the wire up through here, and you can see the wire right here. The wire or the cable was short, so I ended up getting another 3-foot RCA cable, and I just followed it right along through here, guys, all the way up and then out to the back. You're just gonna follow this existing wire, and then it's gonna go right down to the back here. In order to get this big piece off, these are all clips, and then there's 2 8mm bolts just for the handle. So you're gonna take the 8mm bolts to get this handle off first, and then guys, the rest is all clips for this thing, so that's not too bad. Got the camera mounted right through here, and then you're gonna take this trim off right here, which is, there's 4 8mm bolts under here. You can see one right there, there's one right there, and there's 2 over there. And you're just gonna run the wire through there, and then there's a grommet you're gonna cut. And then this camera adjusts too. You got 2 little Phillips head screws, so if you want to adjust it up or down. Your trigger wire, which is the red wire, I just extended it since it was too short, so you can extend your trigger wire all the way around to your camera wire. And also there's going to be a ground wire. Same thing, you're going to bring the ground wire out through here, and I just got the ground wire. There's a black and white wire right here. I just got the ground wire to that. And then that's pretty much it, guys. Straightforward, nothing tricky. So I'm going to show you guys how everything works here. Alright, and also I end up mounting this here, so I drilled a hole for the USB port. So I did cut a hole, and then this just clips right in. Now on the back here, I had to trim just a little bit, just so I could get clearance from the back of this USB port. But yep, everything's back together. And then I got the 2 cords, or the 2 USB cords are running under here and then up through here. So I just got the 2 USB cords from the head unit just dangling down, so they're, you probably see through here. It's probably a little hard to see, but I got them all connected. So I'm gonna have to get another blank button from the junkyard or something. I was gonna mount it here, but it was a little too flimsy for me, so I didn't like that location. So I figured I'd just put it right here, you know, somewhere close. So yep, everything works. And then the backup camera works. Steering controls, got the volume up or down. You could go through your channels. So everything works on the steering wheel here. Got display, you set up your Bluetooth, they're going to give you a code, and just pair up your Bluetooth, your phone with the head unit. Let's see, I think there's a main setting here. Here we go. Settings, yep, so you're going to set your time, your zone, language, date and time. If you want your daylight savings, scroll up. There's factory reset, audio, subwoofer, balancer. You don't need to hit this, you could just tap as you need, and then a reset goes back to the center. Display, you know, your brightness, Bluetooth, camera, etc. So yep, that's pretty much it, guys. Everything's all hooked up, everything works. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next one. See ya.